What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? So I got something that I want y'all to know in regards to protecting your rights when these officers have these unlawful stops. Y'all seen what happened to me? But one thing I forgot to say before that officer pulled me out of that car, I forgot to let them know I will have to reserve my rights with civilian due process. Request civilian due process. You said 3 times. Civilian due process. Another thing you want to do is also ask for the officer's insurance policy number in the supervisor. Want to know why? When you ask for their insurance policy, now they're going to straighten up. They're going to be like, okay, this dude know too much. Why the hell he want my insurance policy? Guess what? The insurance policy is not just for accidents like collisions. You know how like officers be running red lights and hitting people? That happened to me and my cousin back in 2019, right? Here we are driving through the intersection, right? The intersection of International Boulevard, which used to be called E14 or East 14. If you from Oakland, you know what I'm talking about. Oakland, California, stand up. Okay, it's the intersection of East 14 and 22nd Ave in Oakland, California, right? We passing through there. The police blindsided us, smacked the fuck out of our car. We in a rental. We in I forgot the name of the rental car company. But anyways, they totaled the car. Our car is smoked. Like I'm talking about this smoking, and I'm thinking the car is on fire. It's smoking so bad, right? My cousin got knocked unconscious. Rest in peace to my cousin Malik. He didn't die from this accident. I'll talk about that another day, right? I had an attorney represent me and my cousin. Do y'all know that attorney dropped the case because the police bought the attorneys out? That was over $1 million case. Because y'all know they don't got the regular insurance. They got the insurance that cover for large amounts. It ain't just, no little couple of thousands. Oh, yeah, you're going to get at least 1.5 million just from a collision with an officer. That's why they don't be want to give they insurance policy numbers. But look, you can report the officers to the insurance company, and guess what? That's going to skyrocket the insurance policy, and also you're going to get a tort claim. So you can file standard form 95 on their ass, right? So I'm going to show y'all something that I did. Now, I haven't did it for Henderson, Nevada yet, but when I was pulled over in Las Vegas on the strip, they didn't tow my car. They let me go, right? But what I did was file standard form 95, and also I requested to redeem it in lawful money. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to airdrop the document to my iPad so y'all can see it, because I want y'all to see it like real big. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to be able to see it. So I'm going to airdrop the standard form 95 to my iPad. It got airdropped. Y'all heard it? Okay, the next thing I'm going to airdrop is the paperwork that I put in green ink to redeem that in lawful money. It's somewhere in here. I hate that thing keep making that noise. I think the battery might need to be changed in it. Hold on. Because I printed it out in green ink. Look, letter to court. Okay, found it. I'm going to airdrop it to my iPad. Bear with me if I'm not replying to any of the comments. Okay. So let's read this letter. Letter. So here go the letter that I did for the first time I got pulled over, and this why they mad. Notice I've got care of P.O. Box. Y'all see my P.O. Box number. Oh, shit, I just put my phone number on the internet. Hopefully nobody screenshot that shit. I put Clark County Customer Service Department or Legal Department. I put the address that was on the ticket. I sent the ticket back to them. Y'all remember that video I made where I said, I do not consent to these proceedings. I do not accept your offer to contract. And I got the sworn notary signature from my bank. And then I mailed it off, and I mailed it off with this. So it says, subject formal demand for redemption of lawful money for account. Now, this right here is the account number, which is the ticket number. And then the ID number pursuant to 12 USC section 411. Shout out to Tia. Tia gave me this. She gave me this right here. It says, Dear Sir, Madam Michael Lang. Dear Sir, Madam, I, Michael Lang, am the account holder of which is the ticket number, right? I said, with your financial institution, I am writing to formally request the redemption of lawful money for all credits on my account, including any past, present, and future transactions that have been processed using Federal Reserve notes. Now, I'm gonna finish reading this, y'all, but I'm gonna show y'all the certified return receipt that I received back for this. Let me see if I can find it. Now look, Las Vegas Justice Court. I made the mistake. I put 220 Lewis Avenue. I was supposed to put 100 East Clark Avenue. Well, actually, no, I put the right one on here. I just made a mistake on the address right here. So it's supposed to be 200 Lewis Avenue, first floor, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's what it says on that ticket. I sent the ticket back. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing for this one right here. I'm showing y'all all my personal details. I shouldn't be showing y'all that. But anyways, let's finish reading this. It says, formally request the redemption of lawful money for all credits on my account, including past, present, and future transactions that have been processed using Federal Reserve notes as per my right under 12 U.S.C. section 411, request for redemption and lawful money. Now, y'all notice it's in green. Why is it in green? Because that's saying that I'm not lost at sea. So where did I get that from? What video did I get that from? Let's go to my Instagram real quick. Hold on. Let's go to my business page and let's look up why I wrote it in green. I'm going to try to make this quick. Hold on. Where the fuck is it? Somewhere in here. No, it is. Where that fucking video at? Where is it at? Hold on. It's in here. No, for a fact it is. I think it might be a little bit further down. Might just be a little further down. That beeping noise is driving me insane. I'm sorry, y'all. I think I'm kind of blind. I might need to get my eyes checked because I think I overlooked it at least once or twice. Where is it? Where the fuck is that video? Green Green. Oh, it's right here. I did overlook it.
Means that the signer is dead. Civiliter mortis.
Hold on, let's restart the video because we missed it.
A black ink signature means that the signer is dead. Civiliter mortis.
Civiliter mortus.
Civilly dead, lost at the sea of commerce. Dead people's names typically use all uppercase lettering as seen in cemeteries and on death certificates. Uppercase names are described by capitis diminutio maxima,
Capitus diminutio maxima,
as the maximal reduction of human status to that of a slave without citizenship and without freedom. In cartoons, we see the X in the eyes to signify a character as dead. If there is an X to specify where to put a signature, that is also a marking of the dead. Cross out the X or make a circle around the X touching each endpoint, and then write by with a colon after to humanize the signature prefix. A black signature on a copy of a document or on a replication can make it a true copy. A blue ink signature means acting in commerce and at sea, in a form of admiralty, statutory, and commercial law. This is the signature color of a legal presence artificial person, because the legal presence is an incorporation in commerce. The other meaning of blue ink is of a proper authorized representative for the legal presence artificial person if signed correctly, but more on this shortly. I prefer blue ink for commercial matters with the copyright and reference to being the authorized representative for the legal presence. A red ink signature means flesh and blood, a living, breathing man or woman. There is no relation to the legal presence except as the authorized representative, and such relation must be made explicit in writing. A purple ink signature means royal and acting both in the commercial fiction at sea and as a living man or woman on the land. This color bridges the gap between the living and the commercial. There isn't much to sign that requires such commingling. In most instances, I like to minimize and limit the domain of my signature color to only what is needed. A green ink signature means peacetime, law of peace, non-commercial, and eating from and living on the green land. When dealing with any legal or governmental matter, I prefer green because legal fictions called governments operate under law of war.
Okay, now we know why I did it in green. Let's go back to it now. That's why I wrote it in green. She said, can you give us an update of what we watching? Just came in. So basically, I was just basically explaining why this letter that I sent to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police courthouse, I wrote it in green because I'm letting them know that it's law of peace, not law of war. When you write anything in black, that's saying that you're a dead entity. You know what I'm saying? When you write it in red, that's saying that you're a living man or woman, right? But if you write it in purple, that's saying that you operating in commerce and on land, and you're not lost at sea. But that's commingling. So the best way to write anything is in green. This says law of peace, not law of war. Because you see what they did to my car? They took it from me. Even though that's private property that I have power of attorney over, they still took it. So I'm writing this same letter. To Henderson, the city of Henderson, because they took my property. Well, Snap Towing took my property and they're refusing to let it go. Even though I sent them a true bill invoice, I also sent them a cease and desist letter, all that, right? So I did this for the first time I got pulled over by the police in Las Vegas, even though they didn't take my vessel, my private vessel, or my private automobile. We're going to stop using the word vessel. But that's what it says on my DMV registration paperwork that they try to say wasn't proof of ownership, even though it was. Okay, so look, I wrote this to them to let them know I'm tired of y'all banking on my name by creating these bonds, because y'all know, okay, let's say you get a citation or a ticket, right? The ticket would be $250, but the bond for that ticket is worth $2.5 million. So we trying to at least get 10% of that bond. So look, I wrote them this letter in green. Redemption of all past and present transactions. I demand all credits and debits on my account, including those processed via debit card transactions or credit card transactions, be classified and treated as redeemed in lawful money. This includes but not limited to the transaction on March 16, 2025. That's the day I got pulled over. For the amount of whatever paid to B.Fly Gear, I request that this transaction, along with any other similar transactions, be redeemed in lawful money and reflected accordingly in your records. Notation on future transactions. For all future transactions processed via my account, I will make the following notation on all checks, payment forms, and deposit slips redeemed in lawful money pursuant to 12 U.S.C. Section 411. I request that the institution acknowledges and processes all transactions that contain this notation as redeemed in lawful money. Confirmation of redemption. Please confirm in writing that all credits, debits, and transactions processed on my account have been adjusted to reflect redemption in lawful money per 12 U.S.C. Section 411. Explanation of redemption and application to debit credit transactions. Federal Reserve notes represent private credit issued by Federal Reserve, a private banking system, and as such, they circulate as legal tender. However, under 12 U.S.C. 411, I have the right to demand FRNs deposited into or withdrawn from my account be redeemed in lawful money. So, I'm going to also explain to y'all, it's another ebook I'm explaining. This is not an ebook. This is a letter that I wrote to the courthouse. Because remember, the courthouse is a bank. Just like the post office is a bank. Just like the hospitals are banks. But I wrote this to one of the banks, which is the courthouse. So I'm going to finish reading this. Given all transactions conducted through my debit or credit card are ultimately tied to Federal Reserve notes, my request seeks to ensure that the credit extended by your institution in these transactions is backed and settled in lawful money. So, let me see if I can find my $5 bill. Where the hell my $5 bill at? So I'm going to tell y'all how y'all can do a tort claim against the police, and also how you can get 10% of that bond. So if you got a ticket for $250, the bond is worth $2.5 million. Look, I got a green ink pen, I got a red ink pen, I got a purple ink pen, I got a blue ink pen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting off topic. Let me stick to the plan. What the fuck was I just looking for? I done forgot this that quick. I was looking for something and I can't remember what I was looking for. Okay, we just gonna move on. I already sent the letter out. I was just showing y'all when I sent it. I already mailed it out. I sent it as registered mail with a certified return receipt. You know what I'm saying? So I sent this, and then I also wrote a letter. Hold on. So there was a letter that I wrote also. The $5 bill. Yeah, thank you for reminding me what I was looking for. I got a one-track mind sometimes, y'all. Okay, here go my $5 bill. Okay, cool. So on this $5 bill, most of y'all think it's just fiat money, right? But you were wrong. Y'all see the two emblems on the left and right side? This one right here represents what that say? The United States Federal Reserve System. Don't it say that? Now, what does this emblem say? What does it say? The Department of Treasury, 1769. So the Federal Reserve emblem represents the fiat money. The Department of Treasury represents the lawful money. The fiat money is private credits. The lawful money is public. It's lawful. Just like the stamps that we have from the post office, the $1 stamps, $2 stamps, they all backed by gold. Those are lawful money too. I made sure to put on that letter, this letter right here, I put a $1 stamp on the front and back. So it's almost like I settled the debts. But I told them I need them to send me my money, my real money, my lawful money, okay? So y'all probably wondering, where did I learn this shit from? We're going to go to this ebook right here. Lawful Money Secrets. It's about 88 pages long. We're going to read some of this, but not all of it. It says this document has one focus: to flesh out the idea of legal tender versus lawful money and the tax implications surrounding it. It should be remarked that the fundamental outcome of this research to prove that income taxes are not based on income, but are indirect tax due to a taxable event via the private credit known as Federal Reserve notes. A elastic currency, this tax can be avoided through the redemption of lawful money and lawful banking practices. So when y'all cash checks with y'all bank, like let's say you get a check from your job, or let's say you get a check from your tax return, right? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? On the back of that check, what you want to write with a red or green ink pen, you're going to write on the back of that check in red ink or green ink, redeemed in lawful money. And then also you're going to put a restrictive endorsement. What's a restrictive endorsement? By your last name, dash your middle name, colon your last name. And what you going to put next, you can put it at the bottom or the top, without recourse. That's what you're going to put. And then you if you really want to add on to it, 12 USC section 411. You're going to write that on the, no, not USC 1-308. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain why you don't put UCC 1-308. You're going to put UCC 3-402. That video I just showed y'all, I'm going to show y'all a second part to that video. You're going to put UCC 3-402. We're going to get to it. Hold on. But that's what you're going to write on the back of your check. If they say that, oh, we can't cash this check, we can't have you put a restrictive endorsement on the back of it, you're going to say, for the record, are you dishonoring my negotiable instrument? If they say yes, say, okay, I would like to speak with your superior. Boom. Then now they cannot dishonor your restrictive endorsement. But that's what you're going to write on the back of your check. Okay, so back to what I was talking about, why you don't want to use UCC 1-308. We're going to go back to my Instagram. Hold on. We got a lot to learn, y'all. I'm talking about this on this TikTok video. So, I said TikTok video. I meant to say TikTok live. There's another video I wanted to share with y'all in regards to the different UCC codes. Why you don't ever want to use UCC 1-308. If I can find it. Because I be overlooking stuff sometimes. This is crazy. I can't even find. My eyes be playing tricks on me. Swear. Where the fuck is it at? Oh, there we go.
These 1-308 alterations would prevent the fraud that the Social Security Administration and other
Let's start over. Hold on.
or all rights reserved. These 1-308 alterations would prevent the fraud that the Social Security Administration and other companies require to work their legal fictitious debt instrument magic. This is why they reject all paperwork that properly has such alterations. Thus, we see the effectiveness of using terms like without prejudice and all rights reserved by the fact that the Social Security Administration explicitly rejects their use. However, the UN military courtrooms posing as our local courts relate to UCC Section 1-308 in a different way because they do seem to be ignoring exercise of this code with complete impunity. Here's what it is and why. Uniform Commercial Code Section 1-308 is titled The Performance or Acceptance Under Reservation of Rights, and it provides Part A, a party that with explicit reservation of rights performs or promises performance or assents to performance in a manner demanded or offered by the other party does not thereby prejudice the rights reserved. Such words as without prejudice or under protest or the like are sufficient. Using without prejudice, under duress, all rights reserved, and the like has 5 problems. First, by using UCC Section 1-308, we are acknowledging and consenting to the commercial jurisdiction and being party to performance of a contract with a specific manner demanded and offered. Second, by using it, we are acknowledging that we are the legal presence artificial person being presumed rather than being identified as a living man or woman. Third, the legal presence fictitious person doesn't have any actual rights to reserve. It only has revocable privileges, and those in legalese can be referred to as rights, but they are not actual proper God-given reservable rights. Fourth, confusing the legal presence artificial person as if it were you is legally incompetent, making any so-called rights impossible to reserve using UCC Section 1-308 alone. And lastly, subsection B of UCC Section 1-308 provides that, quote, subsection A does not apply to an accord and satisfaction, end quote. Especially when the accord, otherwise known as an agreement, and its satisfaction or its performance is for you to be the accommodation surety for and as a legal fictional artificial person that doesn't have any reservable rights, but again, only has revocable privileges. That said, UCC Section 1-308 is a trap by itself. If it works, it is selective and unlawfully unreliable and intermittent. However, if and when used, it should be used in the context of Part 4, UCC Section 3-402b1, signature by authorized representative. This is a very powerful code to use with our signature. This code changes our relationship to agreements being made to that of an attorney in fact, where the default relation is not what we want, especially to reserve our rights. UCC Section 3-402b1 disavows that you, the living man or woman, are liable and party to the agreement or contract, even when the legal presence artificial person is still presumed to be liable and party. Pretty powerful, eh? By the way, this is a global solution because Uniform Commercial Code is universally adopted by all UN member states, just like international copyright. First, some background. Have you ever noticed any micro-printing below the signature location on checks or money orders? It looks like a line, but zooming in, it says authorized signature over and over in extremely fine microprint constituting the line itself. The meaning is found in UCC Section 3-402, subsection A, providing, if the represented person is bound, the signature of the representative is the, quote, authorized signature of the represented person, end quote, and the represented person is liable on the instrument, whether or not identified in the instrument. This implies that we, as representative, sign in place of and for the legal presence artificial person being made liable and compelled to perform without rights. Under subsection B2, the code intends the authorized representative to also be liable on the instrument by default. When the represented person is not identified in the contract or instrument, or when the signature does not show unambiguously that the signature is made in a representative capacity, the representative is liable. This is the opposite of subsection B1 that provides the signature must show unambiguously that it is made in a representative capacity of the represented person identified, and then the representative is not liable on the instrument. Again, the representative is not liable on the instrument or agreement or its performance when specified, and the representative can be a living man or woman, particularly with non-legal identity papers. This divorces the living man or woman from the legal presence artificial person by making ourselves the authorized representative acting on behalf of the legal presence artificial person rather than appearing or manifesting as the legal presence artificial person.
Y'all get what I'm
A
talking about.
statutory general durable power of attorney will do the same thing in
Okay, so look, that's why you always supposed to give a restrictive endorsement. So you gonna write your name. So anytime you sign in a check, you give a restrictive endorsement. You never just give a blank endorsement. What's the difference between a restrictive endorsement and blank endorsement? A blank endorsement is when you just sign your name and curse up like, hold on, let me show y'all. When you just sign your name and curse up like this, that's a blank endorsement because you're not reserving your rights. This is a restrictive endorsement. By colon, your last name, dash, your middle name, colon. Oops, I made a mistake on here, y'all. Hold on. I noticed I put last name. I was supposed to put first name. So, let's correct that. So, with a restrictive endorsement, you always put by, colon, your last name, dash, your middle name, colon, your first name, / authorized representative. But just writing UCC 3-402, you don't even got to put authorized representative because that's what that represents, as we just learned from that video that I just shared with y'all. So reserving your rights with a restrictive endorsement, they cannot dishonor that. So anytime you sign that on the back of a check, you put redeemed in lawful money, 12 USC section 411, because we're trying to get rid of the U.S. national debt. That's why we have a deficit of over $1 trillion. I don't know the exact amount, but I know it's over $1 trillion, right? It's because a lot of us Americans, private Americans, are not redeeming anything in lawful money. Remember I told y'all, for that $5 bill that I showed y'all, there's 2 emblems on it. One that represents the Federal Reserve, which is the fiat money, and one that represents the Department of Treasury, which is the lawful money. You always want to redeem it in lawful money. That's how we get rid of the U.S. national debt. But they didn't tell us that in school. We didn't know nothing about restrictive or blank endorsements. We just thought that we was just bit my fucking lip. We just thought that we was just supposed to sign our name in cursive because that's all they told us to do. You learn how to sign your name in cursive in 3rd or 4th grade, right? You said it's $35 trillion. Wait, what did they say? $35 trillion? Yeah, I guess so. That all is owed to the American people, though. You know what I'm saying? They're really, even though the United States went bankrupt back in 1933 and the gold standard of U.S. dollar was removed from the U.S. dollar, they still have 2 emblems on there for the U.S. dollar. One that represents the Federal Reserve, which is the fiat money, and one represents the Department of Treasury, that's the lawful money. So we have the option to do private or public. The public is the lawful money, the private is the fiat money. You know what I'm saying? So you always want to get a non-interest bearing account for your bank also, or a special deposit account for your bank. Now, most of the time, when you tell your bank, hey, look, I want a special deposit account, they don't know what you're talking about. So you have to include, I want a special deposit, non-interest bearing account. Right? Or you can get a irrevocable trust and get your certificate of trust recorded through the recorder's office like I did. Right? Once you have that irrevocable trust, in the certificate of trust, if I can find my shit, where is my, okay. I was looking for my birth certificate earlier, and I found it. Fuck. I just had that irrevocable. Okay, I found it. I found my certificate of trust. I'm not going live with nobody, so stop trying to go live with me. I'm gonna cover up some details, y'all. Okay. So when it comes to irrevocable trust, your certificate of trust, you should always have an irrevocable trust, not a revocable. Even though you can have a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust, you want this right here is a certificate of trust for irrevocable trust. Now look what it says on here. It says Michael Lang Living Trust is an irrevocable trust. The president or precedent vested landed estate Michael Lang, along with all rights, title, and interest in trust property of Michael Lang Living Trust. The Michael Lang Living Trust is the paramount security interest holder in all property and collateral, both registered and unregistered, corporeal and incorporeal, real property, mixed property, and chattel property belonging to Michael Lang. The general powers and duties of trustee. The trustee of Michael Lang Living Trust accepts all duties outlined in private trust agreement, including but not limited to collecting, holding, maintaining, managing, and administering the trust property as if the trustee were the absolute owner of it for the benefit of the trust private beneficiaries. Notice it was notarized by my bank first, and then it got recorded through the recorder's office in Arizona. Okay, you got to send your $35 money order from the post office. I will put redeeming lawful money for that too, even though it's already lawful money, because the post office money orders is backed by silver. And y'all know that the post office stamps is backed by gold. Okay? So yeah, this is what the certificate of trust look like. Notice it's printed on bond paper. It's 32-pound bond paper that is printed on. Now, y'all notice I put in green. I wrote my signature in green. And I put /agent, and then I put UCC 3-402. That's reserving my rights as a living man. Okay? So, you want to get your irrevocable trust. If you need help with setting up your irrevocable trust, you can pay for the templates that I have on my website for $500. Now, that's a player price right there. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you go to a CPA or accountant, they're going to charge you easily $20,000 for something like that. I'm giving you a free consultation, helping you edit all that shit. The extra exhibits, they go, the certificate of trust is the shorter version of the exhibits of your trust. It's like about 40 or 30 pages long. That shit take forever to edit and fill out. But just for the simple fact, I'm dedicating time to help you with all that. You know what I'm saying? So look, this is what y'all gonna do, right? Y'all gonna go to my website. If you trying to set up your irrevocable trust, you gonna go to my website. It's in my bio. Okay? Go to my website that's in my bio. And I'm going to show y'all where it's at, because some of y'all be acting like y'all blind. Y'all see that right there? Y'all see that link? You click on that link. You're going to click on alwaystouchthemoney.com/shop. Once you click on that, it's going to take you to the products website. But guess what? You're going to click on book online. When you click book online, it's going to take you to where you can schedule a consultation, or you can pay for to have a trust set up. So the business consultation is $100. If you're trying to join my business credit coaching program, it's $2,000. But if you use the promo code half off in all caps, that knocks off $1,000 for the business credit coaching program. Then you got the trust documents and consultation. That's $500. Now, it's not just 1 hour of my time that you get, but it shouldn't take us more than an hour to edit all those trust documents that you get. Now, let's click on it real quick. Hold on. So what trust documents do you get? Hold on. What? You got to click on the details. So it would tell you all the time slots that are available as of today. So I don't work on the weekends, only on the weekdays. So you have to schedule it for Monday, right? Now, I did put in the description somewhere what you get. It's kind of weird that I don't see it. Trying to go to it. Yeah, it's not even letting me look at the description because these damn reviews is all over my damn website. But yeah, you go to book online on my website. And when you click book online, you just if you're trying to get your irrevocable trust set up with the additional documents, you're going to go ahead and do that. Now, for criminal court cases, attorney-in-fact lawful advice, right? That's $500 too. You got a court case, a felony charge you trying to beat. I'm not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice. Lawful advice, not legal advice. You got to know the difference between lawful and legal, right? I get on Zoom with you. We go over everything. What I'm going to tell you, the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you fighting a felony charge and you out on bail, I'm going to tell you, request your discovery. Your full discovery, not just the docket number, your full discovery. What does the full discovery have on your criminal court case? It has everything from start to finish. It's going to show the interaction with the police that booked you. It's going to show every little detail that you thought you knew. You know what I'm saying? It's going to let you know all that. So with that docket number, along with that full discovery, and I think I told y'all, I told y'all the story about when I fired my court-appointed lawyer and I represented myself and I requested discovery and they assigned a private investigator to my court case, and the dude messaged me on my business page. Somehow he found my business page and he messaged me on my business page, and I thought he was a catfish, but he was really a private investigator. Dude sent me my whole discovery to my email. I sent it to him through my business page. He messaged me on my business page. And so I got to see everything. They was trying to get me for kidnap and unlawful detention. You know what I'm saying? They tried to get me for 2 different felony charges. That was easily 10 years. But I fired my court-appointed lawyer because I wanted to let them know I'm not incompetent or lost their seat, right? So you always supposed to request your discovery of your criminal court case. And then once you got the discovery and the docket number, with the docket number, you're going to fill out 2 surety bond forms. What are those 2 surety bond forms you're going to fill out? OF90 and OF91. Now, OF90 is no longer on GSA.gov website, but OF91 is. But if you need OF90, when you book that consultation with me, I'm going to give you the OF90 document. That can get you released, and that can also get you acquitted. Okay? But you also got to ask who's the injured party. I'm giving y'all all this free game on this live. You ask who's the injured party, and when they call your name, you're going to say, I'm here on a special appearance as the implied surety beneficiary heir of whatever your name is. That's what you say. You're always supposed to request full civilian due process, not just due process, full civilian due process. Okay, so when you go to gsa.gov, I made a video about this already, but I'm going to show y'all to my new people that's viewing my live. We talking about court cases. We talking about how to file surety bonds. So there's 1 or 2 people you can send this surety bond to as registered restricted mail. You're going to send it to the federal comptroller if it's a federal case, or you going to send it to the county commissioner if it's a state case. So you going to go to you going to type in forms and go to the GSA bonds library. It's different GSA bonds. You got the SF, you got the OF, you got the OT, you got the GSA. We choosing the SF form, right? Or no, we're going to choose the OF. So we're going to choose OF 91. I talked about this before. OF 91. What is OF 91? Release of personal property from escrow. Let's click on it. Let's click on it real quick. We're going to download it and we're going to open it. I'm going to give y'all examples. I'm going to give y'all the whole little blueprint just in case you trying to do this on your own. You ain't got $500 to pay for a consultation. But look, so this is the website you go to download OF 91. Now, as far as the example of how to fill out OF 91, I got that saved on my iPad already, so I'm going to go to it. I'm going to go to my files on my iPad. Okay, I'm going to go to OF 91. OF 91 example. Hold on. Okay, so deleting shit out of my damn... See, that's how I know they own to me, because that shit was just on my iPad. Hold on, I'm going to have to airdrop it to my iPad, y'all, because I know it's on my iPhone. So we're going to go to the files on my iPhone and we're going to airdrop it to my iPad since they want to play. So this is the example right here. We're going to see it a little bit bigger. Airdrop to my iPad. Okay, so here it is. It's a little bit bigger. Okay. So look, what's the purpose of filling this out? So right here where it says whereas, you're going to put your all caps name, right? Where it says the address, you can either put your home address or you can put your P.O. box, however you want to do it. I probably will put my P.O. box. This is my my old home address. I don't care. I don't live there no more, so it don't even matter. Right here, you're going to put your social security number with dashes, but you're going to put SS pound social security number with dashes, okay? And then where it says account number, you're going to put the docket number. That's why you have to request your discovery for your case, okay? Don't let them say, oh, no, we can only give you the docket number. No, ask for your full discovery every time. Stand on business about that. Now, right here, where it says on deposit, remember, the courthouse is a bank. You're going to write the docket number in the district of the courthouse. So the account number is the docket number. And then you're going to put so where it says account number, you see right there, it says account number. So the docket number goes right there. Just below that, you're going to put the name of the courthouse in the district. Just below that, where you're going to put where it says address of financial institution, you're going to put the courthouse address. That's all you need to do. So right here, the name of the courthouse in the district. And then right here where it says whereas you're going to put your last name first in all caps, comma, your first name in all caps. And then you're going to put just right there, National Bank Act of 1864, Section 27, section 28, 53, 28 USC, section 2041-2044. Court instructions 12 USC 95A, section 2, full acquittance and discharge for all purposes of the obligation. See case number, that's where you put your docket number again. And then see standard forms 28, 24, 25, 25A, 273, 274, 275, 1414, 1415, 1416, and 1418. And then right there where it says name of financial institution, of course, you're going to put the courthouse name again. Hey, look. You better go to my TikTok and watch that video what I made about this. That's not just for an agency. You are a government agency. Your name. Why you think they say your government name, right? Your all caps name is your government name, right? So you're a government agency. You're a business in one. You're a corporation. Don't talk fear into my plans if you don't know no better. This for the well-informed people who know better. So you put in the name of the financial institution, which is the bank. Right here where it says date, of course you put the date. Now the signature, you're going to give a restrictive endorsement signature by, last name, dash, middle name, first name. And then you're going to get you one of them little ink pads, the red ink pads, and you're going to put your thumbprint where it says seal. Or you can put two thumbprints, one on the left and one on the right. Those are witnesses. Right? Right within there. Within that area where it says signature. And that's how you're going to sign that with the OF90. Just stop talking. I don't want to hear none of your. I know what I'm doing. This ain't just for a government agency. You have the same document, but you didn't know what to do with it. I'm teaching people how to fill it out. I don't mean to be rude. I'm just letting you know. This for court hearings. When you got felony charges. Okay. So let's get back to it. So OF91 and OF90, they filled out similar. Let me see if I can find OF90 on here in my files. I filled out OF90 too. I think it's on my other iPhone. So this is my iPhone 15 I'm going live on. Now I'm gonna find OF90 because you fill it out similar. OF90 you're not gonna find on the GSA website no more, but this is what it looks like. It's similar. Release lien on real property. So it looks similar. Why you think they try to get rid of it? They put a lien on your name. You want me to go over the signature part again? Hold on, I'll do that. I was just showing y'all OF90. This is what OF90 looks like. It's no longer on the GSA.gov website, but you can use this to get anybody released from prison or jail. You don't need to pay a bail bondman. Okay? So as far as that signature, how that goes, let's go back to OF91, the example of OF91. It's still not showing. See? This shit be tripping, bro. I swear. I just airdropped myself that damn form and it disappeared just like that. I gotta back up my damn iCloud. Shit just be disappearing. So when signing your name, you always want to sign with a restrictive endorsement. Never. Oh, hell no. I was finna say. So right here, look, where it says signature for that surety bond, OF91. You're going to put a restrictive endorsement by, your last name, dash your first name. No, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Bicolon, your last name dash your middle name colon your first name. Now, if you don't have a middle name like myself, it's just going to be bi colon your last name dash your first name / authorized representative. And if you really want to cover your tracks and reserve your rights, you can put UCC 3-402. And then just below that, you want to put a red thumbprint on the left and right side. That's your seal. That's saying that you're alive. You're a living man or woman. Or you can do a green thumbprint. That's saying that you're not lost at sea. You're on land. So that's how you fill out OF91. This right here, if y'all want to screenshot it, go ahead and screenshot it. This how I beat my 2 felony charges. When I took my daughter across state lines from California to Nevada, and my court-appointed lawyer wasn't acting right, I didn't have a public defender. The public defender decided to drop the case because they said it was a conflict of interest. I guess maybe my baby mother used a public defender before. I really don't know. But the public defenders, they dropped my case and they assigned me a court-appointed lawyer. My court-appointed lawyer wasn't doing his job. I kept on showing him the evidence to show that my baby mother agreed to let me take my daughter across state lines. She said that as long as I got her a plane ticket, she would let me take my daughter. Then she turned around and said, "Oh no, she too young to be riding planes." But we had already planned that we was supposed to let me spend a couple of days with my daughter. She got to be on a BS. You know what I'm saying? The day of my daughter's birthday, she dropped her off to me. You know what I'm saying? Her hair wasn't done. Her clothes was dirty. You know what I'm saying? I got my daughter dressed up to where she looked presentable. She was happy. Her hair got done. My sister gave her a bath, put her in the new clothes that I bought her for her birthday. Did her hair for her. She had a smile on her face. She asked me to send a picture of my daughter. She had a smile on her face and she was mad about that. She thought I was going to leave my baby in them dirty ass clothes and her hair dirty and her hair not done. I was like, hell no. So she got to tripping on me. What bitch you had in my baby hair? I'm like, no. First of all, watch your mouth. That's my little sister you talking about. Second, that's her auntie. Why are you tripping? She did her hair because you didn't want to do it. You should have dropped her off to me with her hair done. So that was the argument. I hung up on her because she was with the nonsense. She called later that night drunk. I'm like, oh, hell no. I know how she is when she get drunk. She get to being aggressive and want to manhandle niggas. I'm like, nah, fuck that. So what I did, I told my sister, I'm like, look, my daughter is not going back home. She's coming home with me in Vegas. It normally takes me 8 hours to get to Vegas. Y'all know it took me only 5 hours to get to Vegas because I was doing 100 miles per hour the whole way. And I stopped to get gas once or twice. But other than that, I did 100 the whole way. I'm surprised police didn't try to pull me over. Well, actually they did, but that's when I got close to Vegas. But dude, I was nervous as fuck when they pulled me over. Before I even got to Vegas, y'all, I ran out of gas. Thank God I had AAA. We was in the dark. I had ran out of gas. I called AAA. They told us to the nearest gas station. Oh, you know what? They didn't even tell us. They just gave us gas, and I drove to the nearest gas station. I filled my tank up. I was in a 2018 Jeep Compass. That's the car I bought in my business name, right? So here I am, driving across state lines. I done made it to Vegas. I'm talking about I'm right there on the state line where I got pulled over at by the highway patrol. I'm sweating bullets. I'm nervous as fuck, but I'm playing it cool. I'm thinking they already got you know how they put what's it called, the missing persons report out hella quick. I'm thinking they already had the missing persons report out. I'm nervous as fuck. Bro just gave me a citation. I went on my way because I already know how to beat them citations. So I went on my way. I went home. But what I did later that morning, Because me and my baby made it home at like 5 a.m. Me and my daughter made it home at 5 a.m. We went to sleep. Later that morning, I called the police. I made a report. I'm like, look, I took my daughter out of the care of her mother because she was acting belligerent and threatened me, and I didn't feel safe bringing her back home. They was like, where are you right now? I'm like, I'm at home. Y'all want to meet me at my house? They was like, no, meet us in a certain location. I'm like, okay, well, y'all can meet me at the family court. So I went to the family court. The police, the APB, the police never did come. They never did come. I don't know why they never showed up to the family court, but they just didn't come. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to call them again. The lady kept texting me. The officer lady kept texting me. She was like, yeah, I sent her a picture of my daughter and everything, let her know she was safe. And every time her mama called me or she wanted to FaceTime, I let her FaceTime her daughter. I'm like, talk to your daughter. Don't talk to me. I ain't got nothing to say to you. She was mad. But I'm like, look, you never let me keep my child. You always try to make up an excuse. I'm a good dad. What the fuck is you tripping on me for? Because I want to be a father. Why are you trying to stand in the way of me and my daughter's bond? You know, it's a lot of scorned black women doing that. And that's not to throw shade at all my black queens, because not all of them be trying to keep the man away from their child. It's just some deadbeat fathers out there for real. But I say that to say this, y'all. Like, I really had to go through trial and error. This ain't my first rodeo. I done been through some shit. I done been homeless 3 or 4 times. I done been to jail. I done got pulled over at gunpoint by the police during the pandemic twice. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit didn't happen to me. I done got shot at by my own family. You know what I'm saying? My own cousin shot at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm neutral. I'm not no troublemaker. I ain't no street nigga. I ain't no gang member. I ain't none of that. I'm me. I don't even involve myself in politics. You know what I'm saying? But I done been through the most shit and I done overcame all that, y'all. So if I can overcome shit like that, you can too. But you gotta know that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes shit may not go the way you want it to go. But just know, as long as you praying and keeping God in your corner, you can't lose. Hold on, y'all. You can't lose with God on your side. But you got to have that faith of a mustard seed. If you need my help, you need to book a consultation. If it's in regards to a criminal matter or a criminal court case, you need to go. I told y'all the website to go to. Link in my bio. It's $500. If you ain't got $500, you better get the free game that I post on my TikTok. I mean, that's all you gonna get. Cause, you know, I give so much free game. I just gave free game on this live. You know, if you need my help outside of that, you just not paying attention. Oh, you need to trust. Okay, that's $500 too. So what you gonna do? Go to the link in my bio, click the tab that says book online. When you click book online, then what I do, I see what day you schedule for the free consultation that's included with those documents, and we go over all the documents, including the certificate of trust, the what else was it? The conveyance. Hold on, let me see. It's a few documents though. It's exhibits within the trust. It's so many, like I can't remember every last one of the documents, but I have it that I show you how to set it up. I tell you what to do. One is on record and one is off record. They only see whenever you go to your bank and tell them you want to open up a non-interest bearing special deposit account or a revocable trust account that's a non-interest bearing account. Guess what? You always supposed to just give them your certificate of trust in the last page of your exhibits for your irrevocable trust. You never supposed to give them the whole packet. The whole packet like 30 or 40 pages long. You don't supposed to give them that. That's private. You only give them the last paper that was notarized by your bank that says Schedule D on it. Yeah, you want to get you a P.O. box. You can either get you a personal PO box or a business PO box. So I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. Are y'all familiar with the business gateway, USPS, EPS trust? You can get that for free on it. All you got to do is go to Google and type in business gateway, and it'll take you to the USPS website to create an EPS trust account, and then you can buy a business PO box from that website. You know, or you can just you can go to the post office and get you a PO box application. However, which way you want to do it. I feel like just going to the post office and requesting a PO box application is way easier than doing it with the EPS trust account. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna do something wrong. Starseed showed me how to set that up, and ever since then, that's why I make people schedule consultations. You need me to help you set up the EPS trust account? Schedule a consultation. That's $100. The regular trust one is $500. The irrevocable trust, the irrevocable living trust, or the irrevocable express living trust, that's $500 because it's way more complex. It ain't something simple that you can just do overnight. You got to know what you're doing. Oh, y'all think CPA is charging over $20,000 for that very reason? So yeah, there's something else I want to talk about too, though. So if you ever wanted to audit your bank account to get your security interest back, because y'all know that when it comes to the disclosure that you signed for that bank account, right? You give them power of attorney over your accounts. They're the custodians over your accounts. So what you do, you always want to request power of attorney over your accounts. There's durable power of attorney also. Then you got what's called the 2848 POA. You include that with the durable power of attorney in the power of attorney cover sheet. Now I requested that with Navy Federal. I'm gonna show y'all the forms in just a sec. You can tell them a special deposit, non-interest bearing account, or you can just say non-interest bearing account, or you can get a irrevocable trust account opened. But they're gonna ask for your certificate of trust and more than likely your exhibits. So what I was going to talk about is how to audit your bank account. You probably, when y'all hear the word audit, y'all automatically think, oh, that's going to get me in trouble. Because y'all know the IRS be auditing people with tax returns and shit like that. But when you do an audit on your bank account, that's getting all your security interest back. Because if you can remember, all bank accounts are FDIC insured up to $250,000. When you sign that disclosure to give them power of attorney over that account and make them custodians, they filed a 1099-A to say you abandoned your securities. So what you do, you got to correct the presumption. You're telling them, hey, look, I didn't abandon my securities. So you fill out 1099-A and 1099-B, not just the 1099-B. So I got a template showing how to fill out the 1099-A and the 1099-B. You're supposed to put one penal code. One penal code is anywhere from 25,000 to 25 million. So when you add up, no, you don't use the 1099-C. Who told you that? You only use the 1099-A and 1099-B to audit your bank account. So the purpose of it, the 1099-A is to say that, hey, I didn't abandon my securities. The The bank put it on record that I abandoned my securities with the Federal Reserve discount window. That's why these banks be opening accounts in y'all name and y'all don't be knowing. When y'all apply for these loans, they go to the Federal Reserve discount window, and then they get like a withholding account that they open in your name to transfer all the securities. They borrow from your securities. So they will tone side. Sorry. They will always be the borrower because they borrow from your securities. So when you fill out this 1099A form, you always put them as the borrower, and you as the lender. Okay? That's how that go with the 1099A. With the 1099B, the payer's TIN and the recipient's TIN. Who's the recipient and who's the payer? Let's see. Who's the recipient and who's the payer? You're the payer. They're the recipient. So this shows you how to do a court audit and a financial audit. What's the difference? So you can do an audit on your criminal court case. When you get tickets, you go to criminal court for tickets. Same thing for if it's a felony charge. That's criminal court. So you do the audit per account. So if it's a court audit, your docket number is going to be the account number. If it's a financial audit, the bank account number is going to be the account number. If y'all look at the example of how to fill this out, it's giving you the instructions. For the 1099A, it's saying for a financial audit, for box 1, you're going to put today's date. Box 2, you're going to put the amount of one penal charge. Okay? So what we doing? We gonna ask ChatGPT, what's the amount of one penal charge? Because did y'all know that falls under the lines of a RICO? Whenever these banks do what they do with stealing our securities, that's organized crime. So we're going to ask ChatGPT, what's the amount of one penal code charge? What's the amount of one penal code charge for a RICO? It falls under racketeering. So look, fines up to $250,000. So that's what's gonna be the amount for one penal code, $250,000. So we gonna put for box two for the 1099A, $250,000. And today's date for box 1. For box 4, what do we put for box 4 for a financial audit? The amount of one penal charge. So what's one penal charge? $250,000. So we're going to put that in box 4 too. And then we're going to check box 5. If check the borrower was personally liable for the repayment. Who's the borrower? The financial institution. Okay? Box 6, we're going to put 15 UCC 692 G through H 16 CFR 433.3-3-4 audit. That's what we put for box 6. And then the account number is the instrument number for court. Hold on. So we put that for a financial audit too. So That's all we got to do for the financial audit. We fill out box 1, box 2, box 4, box 5, and 6. For the financial audit, we putting the financial institution that we bank with as the borrower. How do we find out their EIN number? Where do we go? So I bank with Wells Fargo. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to Google. I'm gonna go to Google, right? Google.com. I'm gonna type in investor relations, Wells Fargo. Right? When I type in investor relations, Wells Fargo, what am I gonna do next? I'm gonna go to the SEC and other regulatory filings. That's what I'm gonna click on. The SEC and other regulatory filings. What am I looking for? Either the 10K form or the 8K form. They only have the 10K form. What does it show on the 10K form? Let's look. We just want the 10K form. We don't want the other extracurricular activities. So what does it say right there? IRS employer identification number. 410449260. That's the EIN number we're going to put on the 1099A and the 1099B. Then we want to have they actual physical address. It should be somewhere on here. Oh, yeah, it's right there. 420 Montgomery Street, San Francisco, California, 94104. So that's how you get the EIN. Yeah, we going to get to that when it's 10 times. Okay, so the thing about it, when you're doing this audit, so we was talking about the 1099A, now we talking about the 1099B for the financial audit. So we are the payers. They are the recipients. So we put in our first, middle, and last name, care of, our address. I will put a P.O. box along with the city, state, and zip code, and then your phone number, of course. You're going to put an X where it says applicable for Form 8949. Box 1A. What does it say to put for box 1A for our financial audit? Money magnetized by 10. Okay? For box 1B, it's going to be today's date. For box 1E and 1D times 10. So, what does it say that we put for box 1D? It says the 1099A box 4. So, what did we put for box 4 for the 1099A? We put the amount of one penal code. What was the amount of one penal code? 250,000. That's what ChatGPT told us for a RICO charge. The one penal code is 250,000. So we're gonna put 250,000 for box 1D, and then for box 1E, we're putting a negative amount. So we're gonna put a negative 250,000 for box 1E. Okay? And we timesing that by 10. And it's gonna give us a negative amount. Now it says the account number. We putting so for the account number right here, we're putting the account number that so the bank account number that we auditing to get our securities back. Where it says QSEP number, we don't know the QSEP number for that account, so we're gonna put our social security number. I'm talking about how to fill out the 1099B. We don't know the QSEP number for the account. It has its own QSEP number that the banks only know. So we just gonna put our social security number without dashes. And the IRS gonna be able to find out what's the QSEP number. We don't gotta do the digging. Some of y'all be paying $300 for a QSEP number or $2,500 for a QSEP number. You wasting your money. You don't need to do that. All right, so that's how we doing that. This how you do a financial audit. on your bank account. You can do it for whatever bank account. You see how it has for, it's up to 3 bank accounts you can do. Up to 2. And you can put 2 right here. Now, you're going to keep copy. Hold on. So copy B goes to your bank. You can break this off and give it to them, or you can mail it to they corporate headquarters. You gonna break that off, right? That's what copy B going to. It's going to the bank institution. Copy B, you the lender. You lend them your securities, because when you sign that disclosure for that bank account, you gave them fiduciary over your account to where they the custodians. So we got to get power of attorney. I'm gonna show y'all what I did. The forms that I'm filling out, and I got to get notarized with my bank in order to get power of attorney over all my accounts. We gonna get to that in just a sec. But yeah, so you keep copy C, and copy B goes to the banking institution. You keeping this for your records. The red copy goes to the IRS for the 1099B. Y'all don't nobody be talking about this. Copy B goes to the recipient. That's the banking institution. We don't keep none of this. The IRS get the red copy. Okay? Okay, this scheduled consultation. You can go to my website in my bio and click book online. So yeah, that's how you fill out the 1099A and 1099B. Now what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna log into my bank account and yeah, most definitely. I know everybody's trying to figure it out. You know, it's all through trial and error. We all gonna get to it. Some gonna learn faster than others. You know, you just gotta take your time with this. This ain't something you can learn overnight. You know what I'm saying? I just do a lot of studying. Okay, so I'm about to log into my Navy Federal bank account real quick, y'all. I don't want y'all to see my details. I just want y'all to see the document. Hold on. Okay, I'm logging in. Okay. So what we gonna do? Yeah, it definitely do. And what you can do, just in case you made a mistake on your IRS form for the 1099B to do the audit, you can put a side note, anything that needs to be corrected, please do correct. You never just want to just send it just like that, because, you know, people make mistakes. No, you send it to, so look, whenever you fill out the 1099A and the 1099B, right? You also include, well, you do send it to the Department of Treasury, but it's based off the state you live in. So you're gonna include the 1096 form with that. But I wanted to show y'all something on my iPad, but I'm gonna get to that. But I wanted to show y'all, because some of y'all be sending it to the wrong Department of Treasury. If I can find this damn 1096 form, it's somewhere in here. I'm so disorganized, y'all. Y'all gonna have to bear it with me, though. I'm so disorganized. It's in my closet, and I just don't even know. I be trying to keep up with all these damn forms, but I be mismanaging some of my. I need to stay more organized. If I can just find one 1096 form, I can show y'all where y'all supposed to send it to based off the state that you live in. Fuck is that? It gives you instructions on the IRS forms. You just gotta pay attention. Some of y'all don't like reading instructions. Y'all just want to do it from what you heard somebody else told y'all to do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't even take my advice for full face value. You know what I'm saying? Do your own proper due diligence. Okay, I found I found the 1096 form. Okay, look. Look. So on the 1096 form, you see right here, it say all the different states based on wherever you live at. I live in Nevada. So I was saying this 1099 A and 1099 B to include with the 1096. I sent it to Kansas City, Missouri. That's the full address. You find out what state you live in, and yeah, you can file it online, but it's better to do it on paper. It's better to do it on paper because you can give a restrictive endorsement where it's supposed to go on the signature line. So, what boxes do you check? You're gonna check the 1099A box and the 1099B box. And then when it says total number of forms, you're going to put 2 forms. That's it. That's all. You send it to the address based off where you live, the Internal Revenue. I don't even know what a 1099. She said I was supposed to send a 1099A. What NB stand for? Not. No, you don't supposed to send a C. Yes, you do need an endorsement. But anything you would sign with a restrictive endorsement. You're never supposed to just give a regular signature. That's why I say title. You can put beneficiary, or you can just put authorized representative. So that's that. So look, that's how you fill out the 1099A. Now, what I was about to show y'all before I kind of got sidetracked, I was finna show y'all what I requested from Navy Federal. That's cool. Kudos to you, bro. Okay, so look, I asked Navy Federal. Yeah, you can show receipts. That'll be dope. You can get on live if you want to and show them receipts. But let me finish saying what I gotta say. So you want to have power of attorney over your bank accounts, all your accounts, including credit cards, savings accounts, money market savings accounts, trust. You want to have power of attorney over all of them. So these are the forms that you get when you request it through Navy Federal. Hey, I want to have power of attorney over all my accounts. I no longer want you to be the custodian over my account. So look, boom. We click on this form. This is the power of attorney cover sheet. You fill this out. It tells you what address to send it to. You mail it to Navy Federal Credit Union. Attention, RS Power of Attorney, P.O. Box 36460 Pensacola, Florida. It gives the 5-digit zip code and it gives the 4-digit extension. So yeah, as far as the principal, who's the principal? The all caps name. That's who the principal is. So you go write your first name in all caps, your middle name in all caps, and your last name in all caps. And then it says, please provide the access number. The access number is something that you get as a member, because remember, it's a member-based bank. You have to be referred by somebody, or you have to already be a member, or your parents have to be, your parents or your grandparents have to be in the military in order for you to be even able to get a Navy Federal bank account. So yeah, you're going to put your access number, your account number, your social security number, and then the attorney in fact. You can put your irrevocable living trust as the attorney in fact. And you can still put your access number or contact number. Those are 2 separate entities. Boom, this the cover sheet. This the form you include. So that's the first one. The second one is the durable power of attorney you fill out. You fill this form out similar to how you did the other one. There will be no successors. You don't have to put successors on here. You can leave that blank. You don't want to have everybody, or you don't want to have the bank as the successor. Okay, now right here where it says expiration date on POA type, you're going to check box 2, option 2. This POA does not have an expiration date. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, there's never no expiration date on power of attorney over your accounts. You know what I'm saying? So this how you fill that out. All these questions: sign, endorse, deposit, cash, checks payable to the principal. Yes, always. The rest of the questions probably gonna be a no. It's gonna be a no for all the other ones. Apply for a new credit card in the principal's name. Issue card in the principal's name only. Apply for a new credit card in principal's name and add authorized. So AFI means attorney in fact, as authorized user and issue cards in principal's name and attorney in fact's name. You can either put yes or no. Yeah, you definitely can. You can get a badge made. I just don't know where to go to do it. So yeah, this how you fill out these forms. It's pretty simple. And then you gonna sign for the principal, and then you get some witnesses. You can go to a notary, have them sign as a witness, and then maybe a spouse, if you have a spouse, have them sign as a witness. Always put a restrictive endorsement, sign in green or red. By, last name, dash, middle name, first name, / authorized representative. And you can even put redeem in lawful money, 12 USC section 411. You can put that next to your signature if you really want to. Because remember, they consider you lost at sea, so you've been redeeming everything in fiat money. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just showed y'all. I messaged the institution. I messaged Navy Federal through the support ticket, and I asked them for the power of attorney documents. Now another form you will include with the cover sheet for the power of attorney, and then the durable power of attorney. You're gonna include the 2848 POA with that. So I'm gonna show y'all how to go about filling out that 2848 POA. It's right here. So when you include this 2848 POA, this is how you fill it out. Where it says taxpayer information, who's the taxpayer? Your all caps name, your straw man. The name that's on your birth certificate and your social security card, your driver's license. The all caps name is always the taxpayer. Okay, and then you're going to put your social security number, no dash, and then one with 2 dashes and one with 1 dash, like an EIN number. So you write it 3 different ways. You're going to put your daytime phone, your cell phone number, and then where it says plan number, you putting the number that's on the back of your social security card, where it starts with a letter and then the rest is numbers. Now, that letter represents the Federal Reserve Bank where your assets are located with the Federal Reserve. If it starts with an H, you're located in St. Louis. Mine is located in St. Louis. That's where my Federal Reserve Bank account is. I don't know the rest of them, so don't even ask. You might want to look it up. You can look it up on Google. Okay, for the representatives, it's going to be your uppercase, lowercase name. They're going to be the fiduciary. So your first name, last name, uppercase, then you want to put a P.O. box number because it's private. That represents the republic. P.O. boxes represent the republic. And then where it says CAF number, you're going to put assign one. PTIN number, none. Telephone number, none. Check for new address. You can even put a fax number if you got a fax number. Now, here's where it get a little bit tricky. Where it says description of matter. You put income, employment, excise, tax, payroll, whistleblower, tax, gift, 1040, 1040V, 56, 56F, 1099A, 1099B, and then from 1971 to 2040, right? For the second one, records of account, PLR, FOIA, instrumentalities, tender in public, 941, all schedules, 1041, 709, 706, 1971 through 2040. The third box, civil matter, criminal matter, color of law matter, securities and banking. Notice they spell banking with an E instead of an A. CB 575 form, 1099 CAP, GSA forms, OMB 1971 through 2040. Now, you're going to skip line 4, and you're going to go to line 5A. You're going to check the box, authorize disclosure to third parties, access my IRS records via intermediate service providers, substitute or add representatives, sign and return. Notice says this POA being filed pursuant to 26 CFR 1.6012-1A of Section A and 5. I am a non-domestic, non-resident alien. Wait. You hold on. You just said I got an appointment with Chase Monday doing my 3 EINs, estate banker, foreign grantor trust, and slide and living trust. Wait, so you don't go to an actual bank to set that up? You set up your EIN numbers through the IRS website. I can show you how to do that. You don't go to the bank. They're going to look at you crazy. Now, if you're saying that you already got those 3 EINs set up and you want to open an account for each one, for the estate and for the private banker EIN and the foreign grantor trust, that's cool. But no, you don't go to a bank to do that. That's private. So let's finish reading this. So for the other part of 5A, you're going to put other accounts authorized. Civil matter, criminal matter, color of law matters, securities and banking matters, trust matters, bankruptcy, master account ledger, administrative matters, interstate and intrastate commerce, tendering of public and private instruments. Thank you for the gift. Okay? Right here, title, trustee / living man, master account holder. Your signature, you're going to write with a restrictive endorsement. You're going to write with a restrictive endorsement by, last name, first, middle. And then your all caps name for the printer name. And then you're going to put trustee, not your attorney in fact, so you don't need a license. So it's going to be not applicable. Then you're going to sign your signature right here again as a restrictive endorsement by, your last name, dash, your middle name, your first name, and then you're going to put / authorized representative, and then you're going to put a red thumbprint just beside that. And then you're going to put today's date. That's how you fill out the 2848 POA form that you're going to include with the durable power of attorney and the cover sheet for the power of attorney. Yeah, I know I'm going fast. I'm a fast talker. I'm sorry. But yeah, you be filling out these forms, y'all. And so what would make them reject your living trust? They're not supposed to reject it. They're not supposed to reject it. If they reject it, they're in dishonor. So you're going to send them a certificate of dishonor. And also, you can report them to the comptroller. Report your bank to the comptroller. And the Federal Trade Commissioner. They don't like that when you do that. How do you get the information you give me? You can schedule a consultation with me. Yeah, you're always supposed to send them a certificate of dishonor. The SEC.gov website. Yeah, you report them to the, I almost forgot about them. Thank you. Yeah, you report them to the SEC.gov website too. Nah, you really don't even have to authenticate your birth certificate because it's already authenticated either way. When you first was birthed, why you think they make you so like you're you know how like when a baby is born, they stamp the sole of your feet and they give it to the Vatican of Rome. That's your authentication right there. Just like your thumbprint is your authentication too. Your red thumbprint, you can put that on there. So look, I'm gonna tell you where the book at. So you're gonna go to my website in my bio. You're gonna go to my website in my bio, right? You're gonna click on this link. You're gonna click on alwaystouchingmoney.com/shop. When you click on that, you're gonna click book online. When you click book online, you're gonna scroll down. It's gonna be the business consultation. If you're trying to set up a trust, you get your trust documents. If you're trying to go, you're trying to book it for a consultation for like a criminal case, you can do it that way. You don't need the certificate of live birth. You don't need that. It's cool to have it though. You can get the long form birth certificate. You get that from off the Vital Records website. Because if you go into the recorder's office trying to get the long form birth certificate, they gonna give you the apostille. They not gonna give you the long form one. You gotta order the long form off the Vital Records website. So yeah, this is where you book. You just go to my website in my bio, and you click book online at the very top right there, and that's where you book a consultation. So we got more than one type of certificate of live birth. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know how to get access to all of them. I know they got the North American one. They got ones that I don't even know about. I'm not even gonna get into detail on that. Because I don't even know everything there is to know about the certificate of live birth. That's out of my I still got a lot to learn. So something I would probably include, like let's say when you trying to get your non-citizen passport, your non-citizen passport, I'll probably include the declaration of status with that as a private American free man. This template is pretty simple to fill out. It's kind of time consuming, but you can definitely fill this out and include it with your passport application. It talks about the birth certificate, file number. It talks about it talk about a few things. I can read it out loud if y'all want me to. Yeah, it is a death certificate. The birth certificate is a death certificate. It's the birth of the all caps name. That's a legal fiction. So the certificate of live birth and the birth certificate are two separate type of forms. Even though it says that on both of them, they're still different. One has the all caps name, the other one has the uppercase lowercase name on it. The long form birth certificate that you have to request from the Vital Records website, that has the uppercase lowercase name on it. Said, do not buy anything from him. You don't speak proper English. That police ran circles around you, man. Girl, bye. You about to get blocked. They opened mine. Charles Schwab opened mine and then turned around and closed it. I had a Vocable Living Trust. Now, when I signed that, because I had to do the application in person because I had an account with them before and it got closed because I wasn't using it. For real though, people be sleeping on me. So look, anytime you sign any document, you give a restrictive endorsement. You never just supposed to sign a blank endorsement. That's how they end up taking your securities. I don't know what you're talking about, Sylvia. She mad because I told what's her face? Doris mad because she got to speaking improper English in my inbox and I didn't know what she was talking about. And so I asked her, "Can you speak proper English?" Since she want to try to say don't buy nothing from me, let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Speaking that nonsense in my inbox, I don't got time for it. Where you at, Doris? I blocked you. This Doris right here, she got blocked. She says, I need help filling out a 1096. I said, you can't file a 1096 without a 1099, some type of 1099 form. What are you trying to do? And then she said, hello, I know you must, like, y'all see it with y'all see what, like, she not speaking proper English. What are you talking about? I'm like, I can't help you. Speak proper English. How are you mad because I'm telling you to speak proper English? So since you want to troll on my live, you got blocked. Yeah, I know that smoke detector. Hella annoying, bro. Keep chirping. It just started doing that. I don't know. I gotta get maintenance to come and replace that shit. Know what I'm saying? I didn't say anything about filing a document at the county clerk's office for a declaration of status. I said, whenever you decide to fill out your non-citizen application for your passport, that's what I was talking about. You want to include the declaration of status with that. I don't care if you owe child support. Still do include the declaration of status with that to let them know you are not a U.S. citizen. You're a private American. I'm trying to read all y'all comments. Hold on. Agent glitching in the matrix. Change the battery. That's what I was told. Okay. Is you get your QSEP. No, I don't. Bro. I don't buy QSEPs. It's a waste of money. You got a QSEP that's on the back of your social security card. That's the only QSEP you need. You don't need to buy a QSEP. You already got it. When it chirps, it means the battery is low. I'm gonna send my husband your way because you and him would have some dope ass combos. Okay. Yeah, like you got people who buying Q-sets for $300, $2,500. Like they be getting bucked over. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking y'all who do it though, because y'all really just trying to get to the wealth. But when these people sell these Q-sets, they don't tell you what to do with them. Some of them only give half the information. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm still learning through trial and error, though. I got a lot to learn, but the information I do know, I'm a just share it with y'all because I'm at the end of the day, sharing is caring and wealth is knowledge. Applied knowledge is wealth. You're lying in a literal stereotype. What I gotta lie for? If you want to buy a QSEP, go buy a QSEP. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying I wouldn't. If you want to go waste your money on a QSEP number, go do that. But I'm not going to do it. I know what I need to do to get access to my securities. My phone about to die too. I got to put it on the charger. I got to find the cord first. Oh, it's right here. She said, I reapplied for my FOIA report with USCIS Homeland Security. I got the 3-star passport. Have you done it? Cool. He said the QSEP shows after you file your OID and it's in your tax records. I'm glad that I can help, Sylvia. You're welcome. I'm trying to hurry up and put my phone on the charger before I die. See, me personally, the thing about this is a private matter. There's only so much you can show on the internet. So me showing proof that some of this stuff works, that's mixing private with public. It's up to you to do your own proper due diligence. Ain't nobody finna convince you on anything. Don't even take my advice if you're not gonna do your homework first. You know what I'm saying? And if I have you schedule a consultation, I'm gonna have you schedule a consultation for something that I have experience on and I know from hands-on experience, not just because I want to make money off you. Like, it's people who just don't know shit and just want to make money off people and just, man, they scammers. I'm gonna tell you, like, if I don't know something, I'm gonna be like, look, I don't know that, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not gonna have you book a consultation with me. I'll be a disservice to you. I don't want to do that. Say, can I get a snapshot of the 1099 documents? I showed that earlier. I don't know where you was. You just now getting on the live. I showed the 1099 documents earlier. But I still got them. So this is a 1099 OID. This is called original issue discount. This is the 1096. One second. This is the 1099B. This is the 2023. You need the 2024 because we in the year of 2025. So you're always supposed to go a year back. This is the 1099A for acquisition or abandonment of secured property. You're always supposed to include a 1096 form with it if you're going to file any of those forms, whether it be the 1099 OID, the 1099A, the 1099B. You always need to include a 1096 with that. So let people know how you can get an apartment with your trust. Okay. Now, as far as getting an apartment with your trust, that I haven't done. I've gotten an apartment with my corporation, my C Corp. This apartment that I'm in right now, I'm renting under my business name, not under my name. Print Press Bennett Incorporated. I got 4 boxes. 1099 RID, 1099A, 1099B, and C, 1096 LO. I'm stocked up. Oh, man. I just hope that you got the recent years. You know what I'm saying? So if we in the year 2025, you're always supposed to file the 2024. You don't file the same year for, you know what I'm saying? You won't get that ever. It's going to take too long because you filed in advance. You're always supposed to go a year back. And you're always supposed to include the 1096. Like I said, if you look at this right here, it shows you where to send it to based off the state you live in. That's where you send it to. So I'm just now noticing on the 1096, it says online fillable forms. Form 1097-BTC, 1098- so the 1098C, 1099, or 1098-MA, 1098-Q, 1099-CAP, 1099-LTC. I've never heard of any of these forms, so I don't know nothing about them. So if you ask me about the ones that they saying on the back of the 1096, I don't know nothing about that. You don't have to do them online. 1040 is public. 1041 is private. So you don't want to file a 1040 if you're doing something private. Like if you're doing it, say for example, irrevocable trust or revocable trust, you use the 1041. Or if it's in regards to a state, you use the 1041. You don't use the 1040. You haven't shown anything where that works. You want to get blocked for trolling? Because I done showed proof of shit that do work. I done did some shit that do work. So you can be gone with that. Said, what did you do to correct the living trust, Charles Schwab? What do you mean what I do to correct the living trust, Charles Schwab? So, I still got my application. Like, I made them print out me a copy of the application that I did for my irrevocable trust with Charles Schwab. Even though they closed it, I still got the application. Like, I had that account for probably like less than a month before they closed it. But see, when I signed the application, I signed without recourse. And I signed it with a restrictive endorsement, and I signed it in green. I didn't sign it in black. They were trying to get me to sign it in black. I said, nah, I'm signing in green. I already explained that a couple of times. That's why when you do the 1099s, when you order the 1099A and 1099B and whatever else 1099 form, you're always supposed to include the 1096 form with it. The 1096 form tells you where to send it to based off the state you live in. That's details that you need to pay attention to. It's instructions. Order the forms. To borrow from your estate, not just Sesame Trust, that's not what it's called. It's called your estate. Don't ever use the word Sesame Trust. That's gonna get you flagged. You want to borrow from your estate. That's what was created. A estate is a trust. right? So when you borrow from your estate or your living trust, like your, or not living trust, but like, let's say your private banker EIN, right? That's a revocable trust. Your foreign grantor trust is a irrevocable trust. So when you want to borrow from the foreign grantor trust or the private banker EIN, you use 1041 and a 1041 voucher. And when you fill out that 1041 voucher, you want to put a negative credit. You want to put a negative sign next to the amount that you want to borrow. And then you send it all to them, along with the F56 form to include with that in the 56F. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't even be on YouTube like that. Like all my TikTok videos or TikTok lives. Every now and then I post it on my YouTube channel just to keep it live and jumping. But I barely post on my YouTube channel. I don't even go live on my YouTube channel. But I need to start doing that because I be dropping gems on my TikTok live all the time. And see, when you get enough people in the airwaves on YouTube, you start getting paid and you get monetized way quicker going live on YouTube compared to going live on TikTok. I don't know nothing about the 1040 ES. Don't ask me about it. I don't know nothing about it. I don't file the 1040. That's public. I only do private. I only file the 1041. Some of y'all ask some rhetorical questions. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to doing an audit on your financial institution for a bank account that you have with them, you do not need to include a 1040. All you need is the 1099A and the 1099B along with the 1096 form. That's all you need. You don't need a 1040 or a 1041. Like earlier in this live, I was talking about how to fill out those two forms, the 1099A and the 1099B, and then the 1096. You know what? Because I dropped so many gems on this live, I'm going to go ahead and just upload it to my YouTube channel. I'm going to end it right here. I'll probably go live again, y'all. But I'm going to upload this live to my YouTube channel. Y'all be blessed. If y'all want further details or y'all need my assistance, whatever that I can help you with to the best of my knowledge, book a consultation. If I can't help you, I will let you know. I cannot help you. I don't know nothing about nothing. If, you know, I just keep it real with y'all. I don't know everything. I'm not a genius. I just have selective education on certain things that I've been studying. Okay? Appreciate y'all interacting with me, though. I got love for everybody on this live. Y'all make sure y'all buy this merch, too. The Always Touching Money Verse Broke merch. Because when I open my storefront, y'all support it, guess what? I might just fly y'all out to my grand opening for my storefront here in Vegas. That's going to happen sooner or later. But yeah, I'm out of here. This your boy Mike, the one and only CEO, and I'm signing out.